Welcome to the Freedom Chronicles.
Definitely an antisocial type.
Only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger.
Hi, perhaps you recognize me. It's your favorite president.
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
We got a loudspeaker here, and when we go into battle, we play music very loud.
With a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Freedom Chronicles. I'm your host, Mike Imbasciani. Thank you for joining us on another episode. Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. We're back because we did our show the day before Thanksgiving. So it is now almost December already. Yesterday was my 26th birthday, so I'm feeling older, and I've got a lot of problems with you people, and you're going to hear about it because in my old age, I can vent, right?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Anyway, we are, of course, broadcasting from the Brian Chapman State Farm bunker right here in Southwest Florida. And like a good neighbor, Brian Chapman State Farm is there for all of the insurance needs you have for your very own bunker. You can give his office a call at 941-625-9998 or visit the office at 2040 Tamiami Trail in Port Charlotte. And yes, send us an email, mikeimbasciani1@gmail.com. You can support the show on Venmo at Mike-Imbasciani-1, and subscribe to the Freedom Chronicles Rumble page. And you can use all these fancy little QR codes you're seeing on your screen to get to all of those avenues. And if you're watching this on CTA, make sure you share CTA around as well, CTVA.tv, and check all of that out. With me, as always, Mr. Ken Lovejoy, and back, Mr. Mason Weaver. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. How you doing? 26. He calls himself old. Yeah, Mason, can you believe that crap?
I have gray hair that old.
I got zits that are older than that.
Shoes that old, matter of
Oh,
fact.
yeah. But Mason, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I had a really good Thanksgiving. It was a surprise. Normally I do not, but I met some nice people, and it was actually very, very good.
Very good. Ken, how was yours?
Yeah, thrill a minute.
Very good. You did get some green bean casserole?
I did not.
Very sad. Neither did I, because you didn't make it.
No.
Anyway, we were talking about the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and it's always interesting. Every year it gets a little more woke. And what do? They have to come out with one of the marching bands. It is the throw that up on the screen there, Ben. The all queer marching band. They scoured the nation.
Oh, well, I'm glad I missed that part.
Oh, yes.
The only part I caught was
the queer apple.
The queer apple.
The queer apple.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Now, the only part I caught was the little rendition of from Some Like It Hot, with about the 6'3" tranny playing the stand-up bass in the background. That kind of stood out.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. It seemed like they just want to outdo last year in.
Well,
always.
After Balenciaga comes out with it, you got to keep up with the times.
Yep.
Very true.
Just how insensitive are we going to get?
Probably ball gags and gimp suits for next year.
Yes. Well, should we just talk about it? I mean, I feel like since we're already on that subject, the whole Balenciaga thing, which if you haven't seen it, I know we have a picture of that too. The sick.
Can you show it?
The View even came out and said they couldn't show it.
Yeah.
It was that bad. But they pulled the advertising after the outrage, and there's one of the pictures. And please tell me as well, what are they selling in this ad? But the little girl is holding. Well, yeah, they're selling pedophilia,
sex with children. That's basically what they're selling.
All the BDSM stuff.
Yeah, and bestiality.
Yeah,
sadomasochism, end time stuff, and they come out with, they try and cover their butts by saying, oh, we filed a lawsuit, we fired the photographer. This all went through marketing. Right. Everybody at marketing knew exactly what got photographed. They all settled on that because it went to publish.
Yeah.
Before it waited, they waited until the outrage to say, oh, we didn't know. That's a lie. It's a lie.
Yeah. They don't even care.
They're so amoral and so bereft of any morality whatsoever that they're of that adage, There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Well, exactly. And nobody, the bigger outrage is coming out now that more celebrities aren't denouncing it. And it's taking some celebrities like Kim Kardashian, who is associated with Balenciaga.
She called it
even
out.
well, finally, but
Yeah.
it took her quite some time to do so. I mean, how often do we see something happens and immediately all, Elon buys Twitter and immediately all these celebrities come out, I don't want to be a part of Twitter anymore. Well, something sick like this happens, and you're right, it has to go through so many channels within this company, even just to get everybody in position to do the photo shoot,
Yes.
let alone then take the pictures. And of the 200 pictures that were taken, who's the people that in charge of choosing the picture they used to go to print?
I guarantee you somebody from the marketing
Absolutely.
department at Balenciaga was at that photo shoot.
Oh yeah,
Someone came up with the idea.
yeah, in the first place.
Someone picked the equipment,
Yeah.
the tools, the lighting. They did this on purpose. They
Mhm.
are not insensitive. They're just insane. And we do not protest enough. We do not. There's no punishment. They have nobody's going to lose their job. The photographer's still working. It's a lie.
Yeah.
And they continue to throw this at us and tell us to be tolerant. When do we stop being tolerant and start standing up for our children?
Exactly, because it's the children that are being most affected by this right now too.
Yeah.
And
By all of it.
yeah,
From the
Absolutely.
jab, from the lockdowns, from the
Mhm.
masks. They all seem to be mainly targeting children first for this.
yes, because it's been that way for over 30 years now, because
Yeah.
they knew the progressives are progressives for a reason. It's progress over time. They've taken the long road and they slowly chip away. And 30 years ago is when they implemented it, if not more than 30 years ago.
But it's not progress though.
Well, it's not progress, but it's they chisel
Progress
away.
toward their goal.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
progress towards their goal, which is the complete dismantling of not only America but the whole world. You're hearing this. Even Bob Iger just came back to Disney, and he says, we want to be, a good influence on the citizens of the world.
Wow.
No, who cares? We're not in the UN. This is the United States of America, and
Well, there are Disney worlds in France.
yeah, but
you got 'em
it's
in
but give me a
China.
break. Where's
China?
China? And speaking of China, there's a lot of discussion I want to have today. And Mason, I specifically wanted to have you come on this show too today, because I want to talk about China, everything going on with the lockdowns, and how, because you've been doing your talks at the Bean on 41 in Punta Gorda, and I want to get in. You want to tell me a little more for those watching about what you're doing there?
10 o'clock Sunday, the truth right between the lies. We're not ashamed of the gospel. We're not ashamed of God Almighty. And we're going to bring politics back under the control of God, because every problem facing God's people in Scripture came from government. It is the enemy of God. We must stay diligent. We must stay in charge. There should be some punishment for these clowns standing in front of God talking about God as if he doesn't exist. It's time for us to show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you by chance hear the I forget the professor. I should have had the story. They're trying to say that Jesus was transgender
Yes,
because
I
of
did
the
see
shape
that.
of the wound from the spear.
Yeah.
saw that.
It looked vaginal. It couldn't have been it couldn't have been the artist who painted it.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
but to suggest,
I know, it's
first,
sick.
they go out of
It's
their way
sick.
for years to, Jesus was a socialist, man.
Yeah.
He was. And now
He
it's
was for everybody, man.
Jesus was transgender. Look
Yeah.
at that wound.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
It's
Really?
pathetic and sick, and they're
It must be
trying to
Christmas
twist.
time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
It must be Christmas time.
But Mason, you mentioned this past Sunday, and I recommend folks should go out and go to the Bean on 41 Punta Gorda Sunday 10 a.m. and
Fly down from Georgia.
fly down from Georgia.
Come on.
Go check it
Come
out. If
on.
you're in the Southwest Florida area, come out. It's a great experience. And you're talking more and more about the bad guy has always been the government.
Always.
They're everywhere, and we talk about every week these problems that come up, and we talk about them as if they're isolated, to their own part of the spectrum, their political spectrum, but it's all connected because it's all the same evil. It's truly evil, these things that are happening across the world. All you have to do, and we can talk about China first, because everything that's happening in China, even Fauci has come out and said, we wish we had done the lockdowns more like China. Well, you want to see what the lockdowns are like in China? We have this short little video, and we can talk over it while it's playing. David
Fauci, you
Harris.
want to talk about wishes? Got some wishes for you, Fauci.
Yes, we have wishes for you, Fauci. In China, David Harris Jr. put this up on Instagram.
Wow.
The authority is unbelievable. If you have a little QR code on your phone that you have to use to go anywhere, and if it bleeps red, you will be arrested. You're starting to see these camps, quote unquote, quarantine camps, quote unquote, being built to fit how many people, Ken? Like 87,000 people?
Something like that. I thought
Yeah.
that was how many people the IRS just hired.
That too. And then they have these
601
drones going around. Yeah. They have these drones flying around China that are shouting out, stay at home or you will be arrested. And they've shown many videos and we have many pictures. It's like watching a zombie apocalypse movie or playing a zombie video game. You see this is supposed to be 50 years in the future. Instead, this is happening right now in China. These quote unquote police officers walking down the street in Trojan military style.
They look like giant condoms.
Yeah.
Is that Star Wars?
You sure
yeah.
it's not the Cleveland Guardians?
It could be. But arresting people. And there's the riot police. And there's, we're here for your safety in their little hazmat suits there. It's dystopian, totalitarian, authoritarian, any big word you want to use for tyranny. And that is what they want to do in Europe. It's what they want to do here in America.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, the G20, group about 19 nations, including the U.S. plus European Union, they just got done having their annual business meeting in Bali, India, and declared a digital vaccine passport standardized by the World Health Organization is going to be part of international pandemic prevention and response moving forward.
Yeah.
And the rule for standardized international vaccine passports going to be introduced as a revision to the international health regulations during the next World Health Assembly in Geneva. G20 also recommends the recommendations include the creation of guidelines for globally coordinated. So next plandemic that they unleash on us, they're going to have in place already. This is how we're all going to respond against the people.
One world response.
But you have to understand that the fact that the COVID shots do not prevent the spread of infection has now been established. Without question.
Everything that we got all
this tells you that the vaccine passport isn't about vaccines.
No, it's about control.
It's about control.
Yeah. And everything that we were all called conspiracy theorists about has all come true.
Well, you know what's good about being a conspiracy theorist?
Being right.
I don't have myocarditis.
Hey. Yes. Yes. Very true.
You have to understand, the government is always lying to us. They've always lied to us about everything. Remember, same-sex marriage is only going to be about them to be able to visit each other.
Don't get me started. Do you hear what the Senate just passed?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the House is probably going to pass it.
It's called the Respect of Marriage Act. It's actually let's take a huge crap all over religious freedom act. That's what it is.
That's what we're fighting. But we only win if we show up, folks. If we sit back and complain about it and argue about it and even tell them how bad they are, we're still going to lose because they will not back up until we show up.
Exactly. And that's what's happening. I mean, even today, the Oath Keeper there was convicted. It takes more people standing up and say, this is not right. This is not right. And good on China.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
it doesn't seem to matter.
I know. And that's why there can't just be isolated, one person and all this.
No, I'm talking about, look at the millions in Brazil.
Right.
Has it mattered?
Not yet. No.
Look at China.
And look at the media blackout. And the reason I made sure to screenshot all those pictures and show you people what's happening in China is because people need to see what's happening in China and actually believe that it's happening and understand that it can happen here. And instances and the wheels are already turning because the next step, you talk about the digital passport and for a vaccine or not, it's transferring over into what you're seeing in China and
totalitarian.
Yes, and that they have these QR codes and they say, well, it's because of COVID. But in reality, if they know you're going to buy a train ticket to go to the protest, they're going to flag you and say, no, sorry, you must be sick. You're going to go to a quarantine camp. Just look at Australia during COVID. And now that also ties into everything's connected, folks.
Yeah, right now it's for international travel.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was very fortunate. I can understand why, people my age, they get to a certain age and they want to travel and do all that crap. I got all my traveling done when I was in the Navy.
Join the Navy,
Amen.
see the world.
Amen.
Spent 10 years
2/3
in the
water.
Navy.
Amen.
I don't need to travel anymore. I'm good. I'm
Yes,
good
sir.
in
Yes,
that
sir.
regard. But it's going to expand beyond that.
Mhm.
You've got Wells Fargo, I think Chase, and a couple of other banks that are going to be doing their little experiment with nothing but digital currency.
And that's what I want to get into and talk to you, Mason, about as well.
And the whole transference over to digital currency, you can tell how evil it is by how many people are, by the people involved in it, and by the people involved in it that are all dead.
Yeah, right.
in less than a couple of weeks,
Mhm.
but less than a month and a half.
Yes.
3 of some of the biggest cryptocurrency holders in the world are all dead.
Yeah.
And
Well,
very
and
seemingly weird circumstances. One
Yes.
of them had tweeted out just before he was found drowned that the CIA and Mossad was trying to kill him.
And I just saw one of them just died in a helicopter crash.
Yes,
Yeah, in
and
Russia.
it was perfect weather with an experienced pilot, and the other passenger that was supposed to go with him, whoever that was, canceled at the last minute.
Oh, yeah, you got a phone call.
After he put his luggage on
Don't
the
go
plane.
on. Don't go on the
I'm just joking.
helicopter.
Oh, something came up.
Yeah. Oh.
Folks, we see what's happening because we were told in prophecies what's happening.
Mhm.
And when you see prophecies happening, you don't get discouraged, you don't get upset, you don't get depressed. You actually celebrate because it's
Yeah.
proven the word of God is true. Now,
Because these guys are all going to hell.
yes, but the Antichrist is not going to invent this one monetary system. He's going to use it.
Mhm.
It will already be in existence. So what we're seeing now, that they're preparing ourselves to accept it. It's always going to be for your own good. Everything government brings you is for your own good.
Yeah.
They're evil.
It's going to help the children. It's going to help the incomes. We won't have any more drug dealers because it could be digital money. We'll be able to find out where money's
right.
going.
No,
No more late
no,
child
they'll
support.
have that figured out.
It's called
Trust me.
bartering. It's called bartering. But
No,
I
you
think-
know as well
I think
as
the
I do.
hookers already figured that one out.
Well, and what these
Nope.
and
So
what
tell me more about that,
what the
Mike.
powers that be haven't figured out is that all this is going to do, a transfer to digital currency, is create a huge black market.
Yes.
And there will be currency on the black market. What it is, who knows?
Well, and there are plenty of videos right now that are really diving into the whole digital currency.
it's
thing.
mythical. It's
Yes.
look,
Yeah.
FTX just proved to us.
Right.
It's
Well,
money.
and I can
It's money
see-
that vaporizes like that.
Mhm.
instantly
And that's
come in
why
and
they
say,
want to
"Go out."
use it against we the people.
Well, but that's the cryptocurrency. They're going even further and saying getting rid of cash and
Yes.
using
Yes.
digital
That's-
banks. And
that's what I just said.
But you're talking about
He said it
They're
a
getting rid of
full
cash, the whole
cryptocurrency
thing.
like Bitcoin or all that
Yes,
through
no.
a site like FTX. I'm talking about you have your bank and the other bank. Like I want to pay Mason $5 instead
Yes.
of just doing the credit card or
The
Venmo
hell
or
have
anything
you
like
been,
that.
Mike?
Huh?
That's what we were just talking
I know.
about. That's what
He
they've
wasn't-
been trying to
He
do.
wasn't here.
Yeah.
He just got back. So we'll brief him.
Yeah, so they can track
Every
move
single
you
thing.
make.
Yes.
It will still create a black market,
Yes, it will.
But they don't care
a
about that.
huge
They just
black
want
market.
control.
Well,
they're gonna
because they'll be
say-
running that too.
But they're going to say you
How
don't
else are
need
we gonna get the
cryptocurrency.
fentanyl in the
We'll
country?
do it through the government, and it's safer that way. You don't need FTX. You
It's
don't need
always safer.
crypto.
But
Just
no, look at what the government's done. Look at the government's
Right.
own track record in cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Look at
pretty
the track
piss
record,
poor.
period. There's
Yeah.
nothing you do all day
If
long.
it's hackable, it's disappearable. It will be
Exactly.
hacked. It will disappear. It'll be nefarious actors, and America is not protected at all for a cyber attack,
No.
particularly on like the Fed cryptocurrency exchange or something like that. If that's how they go, it'll be hacked and gone before you know it.
Well, and not only that, it turns, if the government controls your money that's in your bank account,
They control you.
they control you, and it turns into what China again already has with their social credit system,
which is
where-
already being implemented here in the United States,
and including in
via
Canada,
the corporate fascists.
right? And in Canada, with what we saw with the Freedom Truckers, oh, they're there. We find out who they are, and we block all of their bank accounts.
Look what they just did to the little anti-Semite Ye.
Yep.
They shut him down.
Yeah.
How they did that legally, It
They didn't do it
pretty
legally.
inexplicable. It
Mhm.
was illegal what they
Yes.
did. Yeah, the dude's a psycho. Yeah, he's an anti-Semite, and he's apparently got some mental issues that need to be addressed.
Yes.
But nonetheless, highly illegal what they did, and nobody gives a crap about it.
No.
Nobody says a word. It's almost as if they say, oh, well, we've judged him in the public sphere, so
Right.
yes, do whatever legal means. We
Which
don't
is what?
care.
Mob
Because
rule.
it'll never happen
Anarchy.
to me, right? It'll never happen to
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Until it does happen
That's
to
human
you.
nature.
Well, look at Elon Musk. Everybody thought for the longest time he's a lefty, and there's still many things there he is that I don't like about him,
Yeah,
and
he's
I don't
not a
trust
lefty.
him.
I think he's a selfie.
Yeah, he is a selfie,
And God bless him. Why not?
right?
Why not be?
And I like
but
him,
he gets it.
right? And I'll get into it. He's going to be talked about later, but it just shows that the left will turn on them on their own, and they'll feed them to the wolves.
Yes.
And
When they're done with them,
right when they're
or
done with
or
them.
if they've been slighted.
Exactly.
If you were in the good graces of the leftist cabal,
Yeah.
and you say one original thought outside the narrative,
Right.
you're gone.
Gone.
It's called evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is great when it backfires on certain people. Like, what was it? Alyssa Milano sold her Tesla because she didn't want to be associated with a man like that. So she bought a Volkswagen.
Created by Hitler.
Yeah, created.
It wasn't.
By
Didn't the
Hitler.
CEO of VW say essentially, work will set you free, which
Yes.
was printed on the outside of Auschwitz?
Yes.
Wow.
So they retracted
he had-
that one.
Well, that
pretty
was
quick.
in 2019, I think,
Yeah.
and he apologized for it. But nonetheless, Milano, you
Yeah,
idiot!
idiot.
We used to fantasize about you when we were little kids watching Who the Boss, and look at you now. You're
at
an
all of them.
idiot.
They go up in Hollywood, you go crazy.
It's always beautiful. The very few beautiful leftist women that there are no longer beautiful to me anymore as soon as they open their mouth.
Come on,
it's like-
AOC and those teeth.
Oh,
Stacey
come on,
Abrams and that
come on,
tooth
though.
gap.
the AOC video with Musk that we
I
played
love
last
that.
week.
I love that.
Come on, you could she looked fetching.
Fetching
It's quite touching.
like a dog fetch a stick.
Yes, yes. Good little doggy.
Oh yeah.
Come here, got some peanut butter for you.
All right. Well, we discussed peanut butter. Enjoy this music video. This is from a couple weeks ago. We had a great show last night, the Simply Clapton show, celebrating
good
my
show.
birthday over at Vasani.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you, and thank you to
26.
everybody. 26.
Wow.
Yes.
I remember that. I remember that year.
Thank you to everybody that came
A
out
long
for
time ago.
celebrate my birthday and see the show. It was a lot of fun. We have some more Simply Clapton shows coming up. They're on the ticker there below, as well as the gigs this weekend. I have 4 gigs again this weekend.
Good, man. It's about time you worked.
I know. I'm trying.
You're starting to do YouTube videos.
I know.
You're just getting so bored. Let me start up the YouTube again, man.
Get it cranking. But you can go.
Now
Yes.
all of a sudden he's got shows, and I don't have time for the YouTube.
No, I'm
anymore.
still doing the YouTubes. So look, go on my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel, everybody. Mike
It's just
Imbasciani.
music on the YouTube channel.
Well, there's reaction videos, there's music.
Action
There's
videos?
there's no
You?
political videos.
You are in an action video?
No,
What?
reaction.
Oh, reaction.
not action. I'm
videos.
not
Okay.
jumping
Scared
through
me too.
flames.
Yeah. I know. It's like, wow.
Kinda
It's
nervous
gotten
about
into
that.
this.
I know,
kid.
yeah. Anyway, go to MikeImbasciani.com for the full Mike Imbasciani's Blues Rockers and Simply Clapton schedule. Go subscribe to my Mike Imbasciani YouTube channel. We can't post these political videos on YouTube because YouTube doesn't like it. So
No.
instead, they're on Rumble. So you should subscribe to the Rumble channel. Do that. Use the little fancy QR code there. You see it right over Mason there. Use the QR
Oh, yeah,
code.
there it
Yeah,
is.
there it is.
Okay. I
And
see.
then, see,
Oops.
pumping it up.
Drop
Pump it
my
up.
phone.
Anyway, and send us your feedback. Send us an email, MikeImbasciani1@gmail.com. There's a QR code for that too. Why not? And also, if you're watching this on CTA, make sure you share CTA with your friends. CTVA.tv. There is even a little QR code for that.
Oh.
Ben, maybe. There it is.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
CTA. Check that out. And if you really enjoy the show, you can leave us a little virtual tip. Real money in a virtual tip bucket. We'll make sure to transfer it to the bank immediately before the government takes it. On Venmo, at Mike-Imbasciani-1. There's even a QR code for that. So, folks, enjoy this from a couple weeks ago. It's a short one because we got a lot to still talk about.
That's what she said.
Enjoy Folsom Prison Blues, Johnny Cash.
I hear the train coming, it's rolling around, and I see sunshine.
There you go. Quick, easy, to the point.
Johnny
Cash.
I don't like it.
Love it. A lot of fun. Anyway, so right back into the nasty business here. One of the first openly gender fluid Biden administration employees was reportedly
mentally ill.
Yes, was reportedly charged with a felony last month. There it is. And no, after allegedly stealing a woman's suitcase from the baggage claim area at a Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport.
Yep.
Sam Brinton, who is the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Office of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition in the U.S. Department of Energy. Mason, you have some experience in that field. That you didn't touch some of the toxic waste like old Sam here.
I negotiated contracts to actually store nuclear waste.
Yeah,
I'm so embarrassed.
Well, speaking of nuclear waste, he went right ahead and put the seal right on him in this picture.
That's amazing.
Yeah, looks like he touched some of that nuclear waste. Apparently,
yeah.
Wasn't wearing a TLD, I guess. This guy, look, you know, you see this quite a bit on the left.
Yeah.
Occasionally on the right, but you see it majority on the left. These guys are put in positions of power. They think they have that power. They're already a little bit mentally unstable, and they think they can get away with anything.
Yeah.
This individual, this dude, goes to a baggage claim area that wasn't his airline.
Yep.
There was no reason for him to be there because he had not checked a bag on his flight. Security cameras saw him take the bag, rip the tag off,
which was a very fancy Vera Bradley suitcase
Yes.
bag.
and rip the tag off it and abruptly leave the area.
Then left the area at a quick pace. And for a big man in tiny heels, I'm sure that was fun to
It
watch.
was probably the dude stands out. Let's just say that.
And we have the other picture too, of which we, you know, is a scary sight. We tell young children, look away. But that's the guy
This is
in
the guy,
charge.
This is the guy the Department of Energy thought was a great hire.
Not the one in the dog mask, the other one.
No, the other one at that's a tenured professor.
Yeah, probably. But it's just sick. It's the
But your children will think that is normal.
yes.
But, well, and here's the deal: will justice be served?
Right.
Okay, they've got this guy. He lied. He admitted he lied to the cops because they talked to him on the phone on several occasions, and where he, oh, I would never take anything that wasn't mine.
Never.
Well, gosh, when I opened the bag, those were my
Just
clothes
happened to
in
be
there. I just, well, I think
Yeah.
I feel bad. I don't think maybe I was completely honest. Well, yeah, of course you weren't. Now, is this guy one? Is he going to keep this guy, because he's working with nukes?
He'll
I'm
get a
sure you can-
promotion.
well, I'm sure that you can attest to this, Mason, that he's had a security clearance.
Yep.
That this guy was even eligible for a security clearance is your first sign of major trouble in our
You
federal
have
government.
a deep FBI background check.
Yeah,
on you.
I know, because I had one.
So did I.
They check everything. They
talked
talk to
about
all your neighbors and
the
your
dreams you had, the
teachers.
food you ate.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And so there's no reason that the guy, because it's the Biden regime,
Mhm.
because there is no rule of law anymore, I guarantee, my bet, $5, either one of you,
$5.
that he gets off scot-free.
Yeah, of
He'll
course.
get a
And get a
community
promotion.
service that he doesn't have to show up to,
Yes.
and
They're
they'll
going
just
to
make
announce
and they'll just make it go away.
they're going to announce that he's going to be suspended for a period of time, and he never leaves the office.
Yeah.
Right.
He's
But
gonna
he-
stay there.
Or if it starts advancing a little bit more, watch him start claiming, "Oh, you guys are anti-LGBT, expialidocious."
Alphabet Clan.
Yeah, you're anti-alphabet clan. That's what he'll claim.
Yeah.
It works.
Right.
We back up and apologize for being right.
No, we don't. We have to continually point out how wrong they are.
Continually.
Continually, exactly. Well, and talk about trying.
Speaking of groomers,
Yes, speaking of groomers and just trying to desensitize everything. Mason, have you heard about the new smash play Downstate?
it's the Broadway hit.
Have you heard about this?
Yes.
Yes.
I heard about it.
It's
I can't wait
it's
to get my
sick.
tickets.
Yeah. And right here, the Washington Compost, Downstate is a play about pedophiles. It's also brilliant. I think not.
Nope.
The New York Post posted an article and was written by this guy, Johnny Oleksinski. Try saying that 3 times fast. Anyway, some of his other articles include Bones and All review. This cannibal romance is gory and gorgeous. Strange World review. Disney brings fantastical visuals to a basic story, which also bombed, by the way. We maybe have time to get into
given
Disney.
us insight as to
Yeah.
his credibility. Yeah.
Exactly. And so this play, Downstate, is about 4 pedophiles with their little ankle bracelets on, living in a group home, and their trials and tribulations all together.
Who cares about that?
Exactly.
May they be many.
Right. May there be many. And just this article written by Johnny here. It will be hard to top the play Downstate, which opened Tuesday night at Playwrights Horizons for controversy this season. Written by the fearless playwright Bruce Norris, the drama is set in a group home for sex offenders and pedophiles.
Fearless
No, right there.
pedophile.
Right there.
Yes.
Why does that get approved?
It
Why
should
does
be.
that get any
It shouldn't,
media attention?
Because the left are nothing but a bunch of perverts,
Yes.
pedophiles, and groomers.
And we're
Right.
supposed to
And
accept
they
it.
keep trying
Mhm.
to cover for it. They keep trying to
Yes.
make excuses for it,
Mhm.
and they keep doing it
I know.
day in, day out. Check out have you checked out? It just came out today. The Project Veritas.
I haven't seen it yet. I did hear about
All
that,
right.
though.
Well, the federal government is involved
Of course.
in child human trafficking.
The
They
government.
just are. There's no
Absolutely.
covering up for it, and he's got the whistleblower on
Oh, no, they're absolutely
on
not.
camera telling the whole thing.
Mhm.
So look, they're doing it. They're perverts. They're pedophiles. I've been talking about this on my show for for 15 years now.
Yeah.
They've been trying to normalize pedophilia at the collegiate level for decades.
Yeah.
And it goes on. Everybody complains about it now that it's winding up in pre-K,
Right.
but it took it winding up in pre-K, and even then they were trying to hide it from the parents.
Mhm.
And once the parents found out, they became rabidly angry about it, as they should.
Yeah. And speaking of
Domestic
groomers.
terrorists.
Yeah. And speaking of groomers, this just happened too. A transgender man living as a woman in the UK has been sentenced to 9.5 years in jail for impregnating a 14-year-old girl. Isn't that nice? And
Well, he's only transgender on weekends.
Yeah.
Right.
See.
Yeah.
Just
So, but when
when he's off
talk
the
about
clock.
grooming, that's the grooming as well.
Yes.
And you're trying to normalize. I saw this too. A tampon dispenser was ripped off the Lyons Township High School boys' bathroom wall and stuffed in the toilet.
Bravo.
I love. Yes, good job.
Bravo,
And
boys.
I love this. It hasn't even
Bravo.
been first period yet. But I love it. It's so stupid. And
No.
luckily, high school boys obviously
Yeah,
know it's
good.
stupid too.
That's how
ripped
you
it
resist.
off.
Just keep doing it.
And
Just
threw it
keep
in the
doing
toilet.
it. No matter
Yeah.
how angry you leftists get, you're never going to win us over.
No.
We're always going to resist.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're never going to win.
Right.
They're
You're
after your
never gonna
children.
win.
They're after your children.
They are.
They need to be handled accordingly.
And they're trying to normalize all of this pedophilia stuff. And like Mason, you mentioned it. Oh, it's just about, the gays getting married.
Yes, it's going to be okay. It's safe.
Yeah. How many years has it been since that? And I said back then, well, it's going to snowball. Everything is going to snowball.
They did it for a reason.
Yeah.
And they used, unfortunately, a lot of willing, naive gays and lesbians.
Yeah.
Thinking
Who
this is
did just wanna
about
get married. Fine.
Love is love.
Right.
No, it's not. It's about destroying of American morals and norms. It's about destroying Christianity in America.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it's about.
And they chip away one piece
And
at
this
a time.
this new crap piece of legislation that the
Mhm.
Senate just voted on, the Respect of Marriage Act, you need to look into it because it doesn't respect traditional marriage at all.
No, of course.
It's a alphabet clan's wish list of what they want to do to Christians who try to talk against their ability to marry.
They can keep gay marriage. I keep holy matrimony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't need it.
Nope.
They could still have civil unions.
Yep,
They
right.
didn't need
Contracts,
marriage.
anything.
They didn't need it. They did it to destroy
Yes.
Christianity,
Right.
and also to enrich a lot of divorce lawyers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Makes
Because
sense.
then it just if
Because
Ken,
there's no more.
if
There's
love
no
is
more
love, why
promiscuous
can't-
than gays. Sorry, that's just a statistical fact.
True. Well, and so the whole argument now is that they're trying to say, well, if love is love, Ken, then why 30-year-olds feel trapped, and they love. So what if they love a 9-year-old?
Oh,
It's
go ahead and love
sick.
my 9-year-old.
Yeah.
You won't feel trapped anymore.
Exactly.
I will release you.
Yeah.
I will release
Do
you.
you
right.
love 9mm?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be all done soon.
Yes. And I wonder if that's what the robot's going to say. A remote-controlled robot with deadly explosives has been approved by San Francisco Board of Supervisors.
We ain't putting bullets on it, just explosives.
Just explosives. They
Lighten
just
up, would
Of course
you?
not.
This will never be used against the people of San Francisco.
claimed the San Francisco PD claimed that they would use such robots to breach buildings or contact, incapacitate, or disorient violent, armed, or dangerous suspects.
How fast the thing go though?
I know.
You know, is
It's
it like one of those
like
that
the
we've
bomb
seen?
one where it's just like
Well, we're sending it in. We're sending in the explosives. That's like a 20-minute scene.
exactly. Yeah. When instead, why can't you just be like Mayor Eric Adams?
What's he doing?
He has begun rounding up all the undesirables.
You mean the Democrats?
Yes.
We wish.
No.
No, he's involuntarily hospitalizing mentally ill New Yorkers. Now, here's the question. Who
Who's-
determines who's
yes.
mentally ill?
Yeah.
Is it those without a vaccine passport?
That's a clear definition of mental illness. I mean, I understand. You have to put them away.
Oh yeah, you truly do. Well, what did Giuliani do? He took care of the problem in New York, which was the homeless people and all the criminals.
Yes.
And he cleaned
Yes.
up New York.
Stop and frisk.
But
Right.
if you
It
clean up
worked.
New York, you don't have the programs given to Democrats to clean up New York. They create the problem, then they create the solution
Oh right, yeah.
constantly.
So they're gonna use this as the excuse. Well, we're just helping the mentally ill get off the street.
God, he is.
Yeah.
I guess the reason I dislike him so much is because I had such high hopes for him after de Blasio.
Mhm.
And this guy has just turned out to be a complete piece of posing garbage.
Yeah, and the way they're saying it is, quote, if certain mentally ill individuals cannot support their basic human needs to an extent that causes them harm. How many homeless people are in New York? That would be all of them, wouldn't it?
Well, they'll be moving soon, I'm sure.
Oh,
once
yes.
they hear that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of
Not
people,
to Florida.
oh no, they'll be coming to Florida.
No,
man.
yeah, that.
Or Seattle or LA.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people aren't homeless because they're druggies out in California. A lot of them just don't have jobs anymore.
Right. Yeah.
You can't afford to live out there.
No, can't. Mason, did you see any of the latest with Kanye and his interview with Tim Pool?
I try hard not to.
I don't blame you.
What happened to Ye?
Yeah, I know.
He
That's
was going good
disappointing.
there. He had
Yep.
me for a
No,
second,
he
and then
is
all of
a-
a sudden,
He is
Jews.
he's a businessman.
It's the Jews.
What the hell?
No, see, we would not be talking about him if he had not said that.
True.
Yes,
He
that's
wants
true.
to be talked about.
He does.
He
Well,
wants the attention.
but at the same time, yes, he does. But he's connected with people who aren't doing him any good right now.
Right. He's
I didn't
surrounding
even
himself
know
with the
who's
wrong
this
people.
guy that was
David Fuentes.
Fuentes.
Yeah,
I didn't even
he's
really. I'd
a
heard the name,
true
but I didn't know
anti-Semite,
anything about
allegedly.
him until this dinner. Thing
Right.
That Milo Yiannopoulos
Mhm.
decided to last minute engineer by taking Fuentes unexpectedly. It was just supposed to be Ye,
Right.
who was at the dinner. Ye
Well,
drags
and-
Milo and this raving anti-Semite and a Holocaust denier. Really?
Yeah, come on.
I mean, I read that when okay, who is he? So I Google his name.
Yeah.
And so all I'm getting is these lefty websites. And it's
Yeah.
like, what do I really believe that this
Yeah,
is what
you
he
gotta
said?
find
And
the-
then I
You found him?
found him and I'm
Yeah.
like, good God,
Yeah.
what is
Well, and so for those of you who didn't watch it, I did watch, and Tim Pool's video was 2 hours long, and
That's why I didn't
Kanye
watch
was only on there for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
They started the interview just fine. Yay, Kanye, whatever.
Yay.
Yay. Wanted to talk, and Tim was asking good questions, and immediately Kanye brought up them, and so the Jews, and so Tim asked, well, who's them? And that's when Kanye gets up and walks out and doesn't come back, and Milo walks out and Fuentes walks out. But before that happened, Tim did get one question in and asked, what happened at this dinner? How did the dinner happen? So Kanye said he had a dinner scheduled with Trump for October, but it got pushed back because of Trump wanting to announce and all that. So it got pushed back to when it just happened. And so Kanye said that Milo came and showed up, like you said, with Fuentes, and he didn't know Fuentes either. And all three of them were together and went to Mar-a-Lago. And Kanye asked Trump, you want just me or we all come in? And Trump said, no, all three of you, it's fine, can come in. And that's what all they got out. And so Kanye has just proved that Trump had never heard of Fuentes either. And Kanye said that. And so it proves that Trump has nothing to do with these people.
No,
but nobody
that
reads
Look,
that.
to try and label Trump as an anti-Semite
Yeah.
is really beyond the pale.
It
after
really
what
is.
he did
Yeah.
with Jerusalem
Yeah.
and the Israel Accords. I mean,
Right.
seriously. So put that away.
Exactly.
And now we
But it
find
came
out.
finally from Kanye and the two of them sitting in a room
And we're not
admitting it.
Sure. But at the same time, you've got Milo Yiannopoulos, who engineered it,
Exactly.
who swore in 2020 that he was going to screw over the Republican Party by any means necessary,
Mhm.
essentially paraphrasing. But so he probably helped engineer it. But
Yeah.
again, anybody with a brain and any Trump supporter saw what happened. That's not the big deal. The problem is Ye has decided to align himself with
people
rabid
like that.
anti-Semites.
Yes.
And that's not going to go well for Ye.
No, it's not.
Regardless of who these studio heads or network or labels, record label heads are that did that to him, it wasn't the entire Jewish population.
Right.
Yeah. It was individuals.
Yeah.
And most of these
But they're all
individuals
kin
are
folks and they all know
happened.
each other.
yeah. Well, most of these individuals aren't really practicing Jews.
No.
Anyway,
Their religion is Democrat.
Exactly.
Well,
they
and-
only wear their Judaism as a card to toss out
Yeah.
when anybody is
When they need it,
criticizing
right.
them.
Well, and Tim Pool had a good point after Kanye walked out, and I didn't watch the whole remaining hour and a half, but Tim just said, look, Kanye thinks he's running for president. You can't run for president if you're going to walk out when the questions get tough like that. It wasn't even a
He's
tough
not
question.
running for president.
I know, it's ridiculous.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know. So Mason, what are your thoughts on all that?
I don't have any thoughts on that. Folks, so you mentioned that Trump didn't know anything about it. That doesn't matter. They're still going to blame him.
Sure.
Of course.
And
Well, look, you even have Mitch the Turtle out there
Yes.
blaming him
Yeah.
already.
yes, they're going to
Complete
do that.
waste of flesh. That
I
he
mean,
is.
here's Mr. Turtle, you call him, honoring Thurman.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Strong
you can't get any worse, any racist than this.
Well,
So-
how about just being a total traitor and
Right.
selling out to the Chinese, which is what
Yeah, of
Mitch
course.
McConnell and his wife
so
have done.
I don't watch. I just know that we're being disintegrated. We're being eaten alive.
Yes.
And there's nothing we seem to be able to do other than to identify it. It's time to do something other than identifying it. Because tell the liberal they're liberal, tell someone they're crazy who already know they're crazy.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop them from being crazy. We have to, you folks, you parents, if you love your children, homeschool them, get them out,
Mm-hmm.
get them out of public schools.
Don't watch Disney
any school.
anymore.
Don't watch Disney at all. Don't go near Disneyland. They're telling you what they believe. They're also telling you what they're going to do to your children. And the next generation will think all this nonsense is normal.
Well, and that's why I think that you still have to call them out on it and tell them who they are.
Right.
You know, I know who you
Yeah.
are. This is who you are.
You can't hide
Because
anymore.
because to not address it is to
Yes.
essentially silence yourself against the lie that they're trying to shove down your throat. It's
Right.
like the Soviet Union. Everybody knows it's a lie,
Yeah.
but we're making you accept it anyway.
Yeah.
And that's
Go
what
watch
they're doing.
Mr. Jones on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Perfect example of the political lying and covering up that happened back then with the media and that happens today. And we have cell phones and video and we see it in front of our face. What's happening with China, with all the crypto nonsense, with the farms, the chicken farms. All these chickens have this certain disease. You have to kill all of them. And that, that's going to cause poultry and even more inflation. It's all connected and it's all part of control. It's ridiculous. To our patriot and traitor of the week, Ken, who is your patriot?
Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz. Yes.
Because as I've been saying, there's, whether you know it or not, whether you're willing to admit it or not, there's a civil war going on in the Republican Party to get rid of the turd burglars that are they're anti-MAGA.
Yeah.
And he has pointed out one of the individuals who's running for Speaker of the House, and what a turncoat backstabbing traitor he is to the base of his party.
Yep,
so Matt
very
Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz is also one of the ones, along with MTG, who went to the gulags in DC to speak and check
see what's actually
on
happening.
Our, J6 political prisoners up there. So he's a patriot in my book, and I love what he's doing.
Very good.
I wish we had more loud and forceful congressmen like him here in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
I love Greg Steube, but he needs to be louder.
Yes. Mason, who's your patriot?
Our patriot are the people of China and the people of Iran.
Yes.
Who are standing up to tanks tonight loudly. They're standing up for their rights and their freedoms. And we're going to have to do something. We're going to actually have to go against China and make a statement supporting them.
I agree.
Yes.
But the gutless cowards in D.C. are on their knees for China, so I don't think that's going to happen.
No, China controls everything happens out of Washington.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, the world's on fire right now. You see China and Brazil and Iran and Saudi Arabia, and things are happening. The wheels certainly are turning.
Good thing we got guns, huh?
Yeah. And part of is being able to see it happen. And so my patriot goes out to Elon. As much as I still don't trust him on a lot of things, he is exposing again and again all the nonsense the left is doing, and people need to see it. So
I caved.
Yep.
I caved.
Lovejoy caved.
I'm back on.
He's on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter.
Yep. All right. We only have a couple minutes left.
Tweeting.
Ken, who's your traitor?
Traitor? McCarthy.
Yep.
Total
McCarthy.
freaking traitor.
Play the tape, please.
Government's going to go after someone who wants to have free speech. They want to go more after American public about whether they can have an opinion on something. That is offensive to me.
Kevin McCarthy of California told his close friend Liz Cheney that he hoped the social media companies would censor more conservative Republicans in Congress.
Barry Moore has said some things today even that we should look at, honestly. What did Barry say today? He said, wow, we have more arrests for stealing a podium on January 6th than we do for stealing an election on November the 3rd. Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit would be I recommend you start. There's video evidence of these crimes as well. Hashtag election integrity matters. Oh, man. Can't they take their Twitter accounts away too?
McCarthy wanted the tech oligarchs to do more, to force disobedient lawmakers off the internet.
That is offensive to me.
Kevin McCarthy doesn't have 218 votes to be speaker. We need to turn the page. We need to get away from the corrupt system that puts the lobbyists and special interests in charge, and we need a fighting Republican majority. We don't need someone whose first instinct is to back Liz Cheney, attack America First Republicans on the campaign trail, and suggest that Donald Trump's path is one of resignation rather than resurgence.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
That's right. He's my patriot.
Right.
And that's obviously McCarthy.
McCarthy's the
I
traitor.
haven't liked the guy. He's wish-washy. He's a backstabber to his own people. So, no, thanks.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Exactly. Mason.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's mine too. I want people to understand what happened this last election, that red wave. You look at the people who lost that were supposed to win. Look at the voting irregularities going on.
Yes.
I don't think the Republican Party, their leadership, actually wanted to have a big majority.
No.
So those who lost kind of, you can tell these people were in play to be very powerful, influential in the party, and they lost. It's time for us to stand up and really change the way we vote and how we vote. Democrats vote early so that they get their votes, and often, dead or alive.
Yeah.
And they put their votes aside. Then we vote on election day, and that's when the chaos happens. They shut down polling places. They have problems with machines, and all of a sudden you got to be in line for 3 or 4 hours, and you go home. Democrats voted before months ago. Right now, there's a record number of votes in Georgia for the Senate, and all from Democratic districts.
Yep.
Understand, the people who lost, I believe, lost because they were meant by the Republican Party to lose.
I agree.
Yep.
We got to get going here. My trader, it goes in with Mason, what you're talking about. I think it goes out to all the moderates, the people who aren't paying attention still right now. Like I just said, the world is on fire. There's so much going on. You need to pay attention. It's not good enough to not be involved anymore. Pay attention to what's going on in the world. So folks, if you're watching the show, share with your friends who might be a little moderate and let them see what's happening. Just don't Google it. DuckDuckGo it. What's happening in China?
Bing it.
Bing it. There you go. From the bunker, everybody. Mason, thank you. I'm glad you had a happy Thanksgiving. Ken, thank you. From the bunker, everybody. Good night.
You're watching Conservative Television of America, working hard to stick socialism where the sun don't shine.